reconnect with what's happening. And this is not new. Many of you have been on tours of the site, have attended many of the quarterly meetings that are available. We want to encourage people to stay in contact with us, the aldermen, with the development team, so that we can get your input so you can be aware of what's happening here. So this is a continuation of what we're trying to do, share information, get input, and make sure that the development occurs as successfully as possible. And we're excited. Since the opening of Lakeshore Drive, South Lakeshore Drive on the site last October, I think people have a sense of renewal, promise, and actual possibility on the site. For so long it seemed like it was so isolated with Lakeshore Drive opening. People have an opportunity to actually be on the site and see the potential. So a lot of good information to share tonight, and hopefully a lot of good input, questions, and support from you. So thank you very much for having us tonight. And I believe Dan McCaffrey from McCaffrey Interest in Lakeside is our next speaker.
Thank you very much, both aldermen. You know, when Alderman Holmes started that IM 7 or 7, I thought to myself so many times, now, Father, no offense to the Catholic Church, but I find myself going to church so often up in Winnetka. You go in there, and by about the 4th minute, you know, you're darn near dozing off. Then I go home and I watch on TV the African American churches, and I said, God, why can't we get some of that spirit? And then I come into a meeting here, I am 7, we are 7. I mean, that was pretty neat. I want you to know too, I'm a developer and I am an extension of you. So as I deal in this community, I'm not Dan McCaffrey of McCaffrey Interests. I genuinely am interested in every idea you have and in your participation and in your ideas. Won't be able to do them all. Impossible. Just like I'm trying to do a development up in Lincoln Park, and you know, I feel like I need protection when I walk in the room because, you know, they're so firm in their beliefs, and most of them are, you know, most of the people that speak, they're negative. Well, I'd like to invite those that are positive also to make sure that they get their share of the microphone, because typically those that are positive sit back a little much and let the people that are negative just, you know, rule the day. So I'm delighted to be here. I'm thrilled with the size of the crowd. It's wonderful. Thank you, and thank you for your hospitality. I'll step up after Nasucha gives you a full presentation, and I'll be here to answer any of your all of your questions without hesitation. Thanks.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks again for everybody coming out tonight. So we're going to give a overview of the Lakeside project. Some of you maybe have seen some of these images, and for some it may be new. So what we wanted to do is make sure everybody was on the same baseline, everybody has the same information, and then we'll have an opportunity for Q&A, as Alderman Holmes and Dan mentioned. We are Chicago Lakeside Development. We are a partnership with U.S. Steel, McCaffrey Interest, and we also see ourselves in a true partnership with the City of Chicago. We have a large consultant team. We've been at this for quite some time now, as you all know, and so we need the best and brilliant minds to help us push this forward. So we have been working with many gifted folks in all areas of expertise. You all know where the site is, 10 miles from the Loop, just 20 minutes. In the historic South Side, South Chicago neighborhood, and South Shore. Many of you are from South Shore here tonight. This was a site when it was fully built out as Southworks. That was about 100 years of steel production, and very important for this area, as you all know. It's a very historic area, and there's a lot of history here with many people whose families or themselves working at the mill. The site is a landfill. That means it's made out of slag, which is a byproduct of steel, and so we've had to do a lot of evaluation and study to understand how to develop Lakeside. And so we like to show this picture so people understand that this is a landfill sitting out into the lake. It's really a peninsula affording really gorgeous views back downtown that you wouldn't find anywhere else. So we have about 40 feet of this material, and then we hit bedrock. And most of you really understand how large the site is because you're local, but for anybody who is here tonight who doesn't understand, the site is very large. It's 600 acres and larger than the central business district. So we have this diagram to really show the scale of the site. It's a picture of Lakeside today, and of course we don't have anything developed on site, but we do have the new Lakeshore Drive extension. We have some photos to show you how they look tonight from the aerial perspective, and we have other things that we're planning, of course, we'll share with you. As we've done our research, we've understood the foundations that are still underground from Lakeside, from Southworks rather, when the steel mill was production, and we also have a lot of utilities. So just had to understand really what we're dealing with as we began to evaluate the land as a developer. We've spent a lot of time through these years doing a master plan, and a lot of that input from the master plan has come from the community. We have taken input from the 1988 document called From Steeltown to Hometown, and that really included a lot of focus groups calling for small blocks, mixed-use community, access to the lake, connecting the street grid, and all of those comments and input have been integrated into our master plan that we've been working on with Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill that you see here today. Really understanding what those transit opportunities are, pedestrian, walkable blocks, and what the public transportation is as well. And we always want to really enhance our biggest asset, which is Lake Michigan. And the fact that we have this undeveloped land along Lake Michigan is really, really important. And it's an incredible opportunity for all of us. We have access to open space where we're planning that no person, business, visitor would be anywhere from 3 minutes from open space at Lakeside. That's very important. And then the master plan really begins to understand how you could develop the site. You have phase 1 here as shown, and you have 135 acres of open space. And you have approvals we were able to get through City Council in 2010 for a high number of dwelling units to be built, as well as a commercial space. So 20 million square feet of commercial space. So in the end, it will be really a new community made up of several neighborhoods or multiple neighborhoods done in phases over time. This is a long-term master development. This is going to take a long time. We're in this for the long haul. We're looking at 30, 35 years plus. This is not going to happen in just a few years. So we're really trying to run a marathon here, not a sprint. And so I try to always explain that to people, that we need to work on building relationships, building bridges, being transparent, having regular meetings, so we all are up to date on what's happening. We've spent some time really looking at how to make this site different, and we've been able to create an identity and differentiate our brand, and looking at sustainability. That's really where the world is headed, preserving our assets in terms of natural resources, being smarter on how we use energy. And so we really came across this idea called the Lakeside Idea. And that means really transformative for the region. This is not a gated island community excluding other people. This is a gem for everybody in the south side, but specifically people on the southeast side of Chicago. We see ourselves as a regional player. Obviously, Gary Airport will become important as this moves forward, but so will other areas. We've been partnering with Northwest Indiana and understanding the linkages and other projects we can partner with. We really see ourselves as a 21st century innovative place to live and work and recreate. We want to design a place where you can live differently. We want to make sure there's next generation infrastructure and that people can really have that pedestrian experience where you don't have to be so auto or car dependent. And I think it's possible if we put in the right public transportation over time. But that takes planning and a lot of resources, so the team is definitely committed to that. Also, understanding our place on the southeast lakefront, we are part of a chain of parks along Lake Michigan, 23 miles of parkland. That's really what makes Chicago so amazing and why we're a great global city. People love to visit Lake Michigan. They understand we have this protected lakefront open space. We don't build up to the edge typically in most areas. It's all open and free for the public. And Lakeside continues that same kind of idea where we have open space for the public along Lake Michigan, dedicating about 130 acres of open space to the public at Lakeside, and the whole outer edge of Lakeside along Lake Michigan is open space for the public. And also understanding how to be rooted in the wider community. Economic development is very important. How are we going to create jobs? How are we going to create opportunities? This will require many partnerships, a lot of new developments, a lot of teamwork to move forward to create these opportunities. But understanding that there's different types of jobs that can be created here. Jobs that are green collar jobs and really kind of focus on green tech, which is the way of the future. We've really decided how to create a different type of development, and we focused on these four principles, which are energy, water, waste, and technology. I have a few slides here to kind of just highlight what those are. I don't want to get too technical, but I think it's important to understand why this is a different development. Energy, we would love to have a district energy utility plan here. We think that we need to find a way to create renewable energy. We could be then able to offer energy at lower prices to the nearby community, and it's also the right thing to do going forward. We are currently very coal dependent, and there are other ways to create energy. So because we have a blank site, it really is an opportunity to start from scratch. We have no infrastructure on site, and we have the opportunity to plan a brand new place in a new way, doing things if in an innovative way, not the way we've always done construction and development in the past. And that's really exciting, and it's great to be a part of this journey. We also have a very innovative stormwater plan where right now all of the stormwater falls down through the site or in the area to the combined sanitary and sewer system, burdening our existing infrastructure that's way over 100 years old. And then we also deplete a lot of the water from Lake Michigan. Every day, 2.05 billion gallons of water is sent to the Gulf of Mexico. We're not preserving this fresh lake water resource. So our stormwater plan has all the stormwater going through the site, percolating down through and back out to Lake Michigan. And then this is really what we think is a creative, unique opportunity. We'll have to work hard and partner with the city, but we think that we can make this happen. And a lot of the parks are then included with this plan for our stormwater. Recycling is pretty straightforward, but obviously we're all very aware it's not that great in Chicago. The plan is difficult. We see suburbs doing a better job. And if it's done at an easy way, at a residential scale, where there's sorting centers in people's neighborhoods at a walking level, and at the residential scale, people will recycle more. It's just when it's complicated, people don't want to do it. If it's something else they've got to do on their work day, they don't want to deal with it with all their other responsibilities. So just thinking about how you put a recycling plan in, and then using that waste as energy. In other countries, for example, in Denmark, they're using 94% of all of their material as energy and only sending 8% to landfill, or 6% depending on who you talk to. But we only send, the majority and only really recycle about 8% in Chicago. It's not a very good statistic. We know we can do better. And then really thinking about being connected. A lot of opportunities right now stem from technology, being connected to internet, fiber optics, and we know the South Side has been sometimes neglected and not had the connection everyone else has had. I'm trying to put that delicately. And so what we think is we need to find a way to plan this. We've partnered with Cisco, and we've identified that the really fast fiber optic trunk is just a half a mile away from us under the Skyway, and that means we can connect it to Lakeside and also integrate that into community needs, existing community today, to provide a lot of really great resources, such as remote healthcare and education. And that would really improve many, many aspects that maybe aren't as strong as they could be today. And so this just shows a photo of healthcare, having a doctor somewhere else, and then a nurse practitioner with you. Medical facilities and outpatient centers are moving to where people live today. People are not going to huge centers as much. The medical model's changing. So we're trying to also make sure we integrate that in our plan and be mindful of what people need locally. Wanted to share with you an award we won. It was really important for the development team. It really raised us to the global level. People know about this project globally now, and this was an award that we won for being really sustainable and how you plan new cities. And it was called Chicago for Pedestrians. And so we won an award. The award was given to us in Copenhagen. That's Arnold Schwarzenegger there as the MC. And it was about 1,500 people at this event, and we were given this award and shortlisted from 100 sustainable solutions worldwide. And the other fellow there is a winner for flexible solar technology on rural Kenya on huts. So this just kind of shows you some of the work we've been doing, really trying to move forward. Lakeshore Drive is a huge, huge accomplishment for us. There was a bit of delay. Many of you know that who live nearby. You had to put up with construction and delay, not having information. But we were able to get this restarted. And I must say, Dan and the team really spent a lot of time working with the city to plan this boulevard so it was really accessible for the public. Originally, it was planned for kind of industrial truck traffic. It wasn't really meant to be for mixed-use development. We got in there and explained we need to find a way to make sure this is accessible for all. There's signalized intersections now. You have all the existing street grids coming through. Today you have 83rd open, 85th, 87th, and 81st will get opened as we get to that phase. That means everything, and that gives access to the lake. You have Park 523 open now. This begins to really open up all those assets I was talking about. Some pictures for you of the extension. And this was primarily funded by the state and also some by the city. Coming in at 79th and connecting into Avenue O that was already in. Looking southbound, looking towards Rainbow Park Beach, Rainbow Park. And just talking about the development, we're looking at a lot of different land uses, but that really gives the development team access to begin to show the retailers that we need to, show the investors and the people, here's the site, here's the main access road, you can come visit us, this works, you can get here, it's wonderful. And so for us, it's meant everything the past several months since it's been open. This was a zoomed-in shot of the 5K we had last October when we opened the road with the city. And the new bus turnaround, which has been very, very useful to the staging and the increase of bus traffic and the routes and the times for CTA. And the festival we had, the first festival along the lake at the new park open to the public. Here's a picture of the ribbon cutting. Many officials showed up. It was really well supported. Alderman Pope, Alderman Holmes, the governor, Dick Durbin, the big deal. We also partnered with local high schools for a marching band to have different events at the opening. We had a bike race, lots of people in the community came out. Again, picture of our open space. The Orwells, a lot of you know, with the history of Southworks, we want to preserve the southern one. We want to make a public park, and it's really important that we think about that. Mud to Parks is a big partnership going on right now. This is a city and a state of Illinois partnership. You can't build parks on slag, so that's bringing in dredged material from Lake Peoria, bringing it onto the site, drying it, seeding it, and creating new parkland. There's another 11 barges that's been funded that's going to be coming in this year. So this will be the 4th installation this year. And Governor Quinn is 100% behind this project, and it's really great to have that support. Here's a picture of the new park. It's gorgeous. It's on Lake Michigan. And soon it will be renamed this fall. I've also heard that a new sculpture will be going in. That's wonderful. We had a lot of interesting activity this past winter in the slip. A lot of fishermen. So we didn't anticipate that type of activity. So that's something new. And again, I just wanted to point out where we've come from. We had these original kind of densities or new dwelling units planned and commercial uses, but since then we've made all this progress and we've really been able to increase that. We've also picked up that Solo Cup site that some of you are aware of, and we've been really moving forward. We have a tax increment financing plan just for Phase 1, which is just for public improvements, not to be used for anything else. That's for curbs, streets, roads. Without that TIF, no developer would be able to carry the burden of the construction. And so that means everything that the city was able to partner with us and work on this difficult project. And so we will be using that to move forward with Phase 1. This just shows over time. I said it's 35 to 40 years. We're not really sure, but people like to see what it would maybe look like. And then some interim uses I wanted to point out. We had a concert in 2011. We hope to have more, but we did need the road completed, so there's been a little break. So we'll see if we can get another one, and we'll do a lot more partnering with the local community like we did last time and do it even better. We have a temporary velodrome. There has been youth from New Sullivan and other schools who have been able to train there and never been exposed to a sport like this. It's an Olympic sport, fixed bikes, 50-degree banking. That's a big deal. There's only one other velodrome in Northbrook, so this is in your community, and you need to know about it. And we hope that you can also spread the word about all the good things that we're doing. We hope to bring in urban farms. We know that there may be one coming in soon. It's really important as we have a food desert issue, access to fresh produce. And then a lot of the local impact work. We have so many partners. It's growing all the time. We get requests often. We want to be supportive. As Dan said, we can't help everybody, but we can maybe creatively work together in some other meaningful way. And we've just done so much already, so we wanted to share with you all that we have done. A lot of this is on our website under the community page, if you haven't been to our website. And it just keeps growing. We have a local business directory. We have over 200 businesses in that. We try to do a lot of local spending. We track those dollars. We partner with local businesses for whatever we need to do. We work with the chamber. We work with local schools. We have been awarded a grant for the Lakeside Heritage Trail by the state of Illinois. That's going to be going in this year. It's 8 educational signs along 87th and in the new park. It's going to talk about things like this: what is slag, steel production history. We're part of the Millennium Reserve Project from Governor Quinn. That means we're one of the coastal reserve projects to protect the Lake Michigan shoreline. All of these things are really building to show you how much we're trying to do to be part of so many other partnerships to do good work. Some pictures of some of our open houses. As Alderman Pope said, we do have these quarterly. Our next open house is June 24th. And future uses, I think I'm going to hand this over to Dan.
That's a tough act to follow. She's Nasucha's been our senior project manager on this project for 7.5 years, and you know, she's doing a fantastic job. I think you all have had the opportunity to interact with her. Oh my! So she didn't show me the order of the slides. So here's the first one. We are going to respond, and we want your help. We believe strongly that this corner of this site is the best spot for the Barack Obama Presidential Library. We believe that. We believe it for very, very, very many reasons. And, you know, I could put on my salesman hat, but very, very honestly, a lot of iconic buildings in Chicago are on the lake. And they run out. And they run out where? They run out at a spot where the actual piece of land of Chicago reaches furthest into the lake. So when you're standing here, you look back at Chicago. It's like being on the south side's Navy Pier. It's absolutely stunning. It is apparently, now I'm told this, it's apparently only 2 miles from where Michelle was born. It's only 4 miles from the University of Chicago, who are desperate to get the library. And should they be awarded the library, we're going to give them the land. Just take it.
What about Michael Reese?
What's that?
Michael Reese land.
Well, you know, everyone's going to say, what about Michael Reese, and what about Woodlawn, and what about Bronzeville and Chicago State? It's a genuine competition. But like I heard yesterday at a luncheon, there's only 2 people in the world going to make this selection, and I'm not one of them. We both know the 2 people. We don't get to meet them very often, but they're like you, they're like me, they're susceptible to ideas, so we're putting an idea out there for them to consider. Because this is the community that first put President Obama on the political map. This is the community. It started here. He was a community organizer. Well, hell, if you want to organize a community, come back here and put your library here. Then the community will take care of themselves. This will be the single most powerful presidential library in the country. No doubt about it. I don't mean to, you know, dwell on race and stuff, but every person of color takes pride in the fact that this man is our first president. Everybody. It's fantastic. So, President Obama, if you put your library here, people will rally to it. And here's one of the things you'll hear. What's a little bit out of the way.